Hey there, and welcome back to a new episode. Thank you for bearing with me. Oh, listen, a plane. Okay, let's try this again. Thank you for bearing with me on the slowing down of the posting of videos. This is a difficult build for me. Don't know, it's triggered a lot of stuff. And there's plenty of stuff going on at home as well, both good and bad. We've got some work happening on the house. So it's all added up to taking my eye off this build. And I get in my head and I think to myself, oh well, I can only do a little bit of time on it, so I'm not going to get much done, so I won't do anything at all. So I'm just going to keep pushing on. I can do an hour here and there. I will just keep pushing on because lots of little bits of time add up to a big chunk of time and a finished build. So what are we up to today? One thing I have been spending a little bit of time on is the BMW, which got clay barred, and she is shiny as hell. So I'm very happy with her. She's actually for sale right now. There's an ex-police car, like municipal vehicle auction happening on Saturday. This is now Thursday. She's for sale, and I would really love to go to the auction with a few grand in my pocket because I think there's some nice stuff I could pick up there and maybe flip. Who knows? But back to Betty. What I really want to do now is want to remove these Explorer Mountaineer inner fenders, clean all this up and really finalize what I'm going to be doing with the radiator, because obviously this doesn't need to be here, but it doubles as a mount for the radiator down there, so I'm going to maintain that. And then I've got to figure out how I'm going to fit in the original F250, 53 inner fenders in here with masses of reduced space. There's going to be a lot of cutting, I'd say, and there isn't going to be much of them left, but I do want to get some splash guard in there for the heater box and all that kind of stuff. And then moving further on, and obviously it's not going to get done today, more bracing under this side, that door bar being cut off and that door being fitted, and again look a bit more like a truck. And also then I'm going to start figuring out what I want to do with the hinges. I was going to front mount it, not got money to buy the kit, so we're going to figure out how to mount the original hinges here and have it closing in the conventional sense. But today I'm going to be figuring out this kind of inner wing area and also having a final mounting point for the battery as well, because that's going to go in there. It's a bit of a pain in the arse to move it right now because I've got to like put the battery in, ratchet strap it down, and it just takes a lot of time. So yeah, let's get on. Here we've got what's left of the Explorer Mountaineer inner fender, which the fuse box and ABS module was mounted off. And also I've got all my EVAP and horns mounted off this little bit here as well, which is again mounted to the bottom of the radiator mount situation. So then what I'm going to do, I'm going to chop it here because this little thing has got a ground and lots of good stuff, and it's going to be underneath the other fender, and I'd rather leave more than chop more to begin with. So I'm going to take it probably around that area right there, and then get the 53 inner fender and just start offering it up and seeing where we've got to start chopping. Change of plan. You've never heard that before in one of these videos, have you? I'm gonna lose this. All this stuff is fairly movable angle wise and boltable, so I'm gonna be able to bolt it to the inner wing of the original F250. The reason why I'm going to lose this is because if I keep this, I'm going to have to chop so much out of the front of the F250 inner wing that it's just not going to have any structural rigidity at all, and I really do want to keep a lot of it so no water can go there. So yeah, that's going to go. Right here, more than ever, you can see old technology, old rust, disc brakes, sway bar. Ha. So the inner fender's in, a lot of trimming has gone on. That's the front panel mount. And that is the Explorer front panel mount, which is going to be the lower radiator mount. Got that for the ABS there. and we've had to cut some out for the electric plugs going through the bulkhead. Trimmed all this out from the original wheel well as well. Going to trim more so the suspension has room to move. And then once this gets hacked more and it's completely gone, I think the battery is going to fit nice and snug quite far forward underneath here, because the hood right now is going to come down fairly low here, so it's going to affect battery clearance, and I don't really want to do a rear mounted battery. I want to keep it up front. So yeah, we shall hack some of that away. And I was very disappointed just to find out that I used my gas bottle twice and it must have a faulty valve on it, and it's empty. So I'm going to go and get gas. Bugger. It's half an hour later and I'm back, and look, a bigger bottle. They didn't have 60s, they only had 80s. I have no idea what those numbers mean, but this one's bigger. Bigger's better. That means a higher level of professionalism from me. Or meaning I'm a higher level of professional. The bigger this bottle gets, the better a welder I become. That's fact. Not gonna lie, this definitely feels like a step back. So a bit clearer here now, so this is all going to be coming off. I'm going to trim that down to there, and basically most of this is going to go. As we know now, this area right here is the mount for that lower pad there for the whole radiator and AC and all the coolers and shit, so fuck it, may as well leave it. And then I'm going to trim above it there, so then that'll clean the front up. All this stuff is like build admin is what I like to call it, because it's all the stuff you're never going to see but you have to do. So rear mount is done, front mount is done, still got to get clearance a little bit more across that line. Now originally I thought the ABS mount was going to go like that, but it's going to go on top there, and it's going to mount like that. You can see that underneath there, and weld that on, and then this piece is going to go in there. Never need to take it out in the first place. What a dick. Going to move that little inspection hole up as well, but yeah, that's how that's going to go. This made me very happy, because this is a pain in the arse to put together, because everything's bent, obviously, nothing's straight. So that all came off in one go when it undid the front panel mounts. Happy days. I was happy about that. So then we've chopped down the lower radiator cross member, and that's as chopped down as it's going to get. So there you can see lower mount, kind of lower pad, and then an upper mount that's going to go to the 53 cross slam panel core support, and then the wire mounts that are going to be tied in with that radiator mount. So yeah, I'm going to throw some paint at it now, and then I think I'll be done for the day. I think I may be onto something. I think I'll scrap the build and just start creating wall art. Coat of paint in hammered light grey, dark silver, because it's what I had. There we go, happy days. That's going to dry tonight. Then put it all back on. That inner fender is really close, and then we're going to fettle the other rear fender tomorrow, get that on, and then start mounting stuff around it and welding bits and pockets and all that kind of shenanigans tomorrow. Happy days. See you tomorrow. Okay, so that ABS pump is fully mounted, and just done that on there. A little bit of just bar, some tabs welded on, boxed it, welded it. So that's that. That's that. Now we're just going to make the battery fit here. It's just tacked in, and I'm 99% I'm good with wheel clearance, because as I say, I mean it comes down way further than I wanted it to, but I'm going to have at least a 1-inch spacer and a wheel that's going to stick out so far. It has clearance, just, it's all super tight. I think that's going to work. I bloody hope so. I am not going to lie, that was a ton of work. Battery tray recessed into there with a strengthening strut, and that's where the front mount goes onto the frame for the inner fender itself. ABS pump mount, and a recess for the electrical connectors to go into the bulkhead. And then we have a bottom mount there as well. Wow, what a lot of work. cool though, I like it. This is where we are at right now. Trimmed up the passenger side inner fender, same at the front as on the other side. Along the bottom it's the same. There's way more room at the back end. I should have left that diagonal piece on, but I didn't, like a dick. And had to cut out for the AC. So obviously in time I'm gonna have to put a cover underneath there for water coming off the wheel. So it's all bolted in right now, and wiring's kind of draped. Front end is all tied in. What I'm on cruise control on the Explorer kind of sat like that, so I'm thinking I'm just going to let it flop down like that, set that bracket on the inner wing, bend that down, bolt it through, done. Meanwhile, the inner wing is in the exterior paint booth. Right, still on the passenger side, back mount's done, front mount's done, and the radiator and AC condenser and all that kind of stuff is done. Angle bar welded to that, bolted to that. It looks lent back, but that is where this housing fits on the clutched fan. So that's right, probably going to have to put some sort of cover plate across there to keep the air going in. Hello plane. Okay, so going to pull off this front panel now, paint this down there, and it shall be being moved to the exterior paint booth. We are mid front bumper build right now. It was very bent, so I don't have any heat or anything like that to heat the metal up and bend it, but I do have a cutting disc and a welder. So sliced it and bent this side back out and then welded it. So we then capped those ends, and they are then going to go in there. I had to clearance that bottom part because the bumper stuck out from the body quite a distance, but it's going to be tucked right in now. Okay, weld it on. Every time I say I'm not going to take the front of the truck off, when I do take it back off, that is one less reason for it to come back off. Thus, it's back off. But hopefully, when I put it on next time, I won't be taking it back off, it'll be staying on. There you go. We can hope. One little thing that's been battering my head and I've been avoiding is mounting this transmission cooler, because this is kind of like bendy, you know, there's not really a lot left to it. But two bottom mounts went in there, one existing hole, happy days, love that. And then what I did on this one, there was an existing hole on this upright there. So I just basically chopped off, this had a big kickback and out, chopped that off, flattened it out, welded it on, job done. Happy days. Right now I've just got back from being, well, hiking and being at the beach all day. But this project is definitely gaining momentum. So it's now Sunday evening and I want to really crack on with it tomorrow. And where the fender from Fender sits up against here is definitely a rust trap. So we have bed liner. We're gonna fire that on right now. Super quick job. Just like that. And we're gonna take it up to this area so there's a nice good thick coating of it, because the actual paint that you're gonna see on this front quarter ain't gonna be perfect. And I'm gonna spray some black, gonna spray some green, and then, you know, rub through at some point just so we can create some faux tina. So just gonna, as I say, take the bed liner up to around that area to protect this metal that the fender is going to sit against. There we go, same on the other side. So without taping it and just kind of arcing it around, it kind of gives me a feathered edge. It's not as obvious as if I put tape and then it'd be, you know, thick and it'd be a proper edge. There you go, that's done on that side. And you know what, it looks exactly the same on the other side as well. So it seems I haven't posted a film in what feels like forever, so I'm going to edit this all together and hopefully come up with a decent episode with enough content to keep everybody entertained. Kind of at a midpoint, all the little bitty stuff always gets like this. It's so much hard work, but it doesn't actually look like I've done much, but there is plenty that has been done. So shall call it for now. Thank you for watching. Thank you for bearing with the obstacles life has thrown at me over the past couple of months that slowed me down a little bit, but we're back on track with the truck, and she will be looking a hell of a lot more truck-like in the next episode. Thanks for watching. See you next time.